Hey there, everyone. It's Laurel Beard here, and I am so excited to be participating in the 50,000 subscriber celebration video hop for It's Me JD. There is going to be a big giveaway, so be sure to stay tuned for the rest of this video for all of the details. If you don't know It's Me JD, well, you have to. She is so funny. I adore her sense of humor. She's got a great YouTube channel. I love her style. I love her hacks. I love her sound effects and her videos. So follow her if you don't already. I'll be sure to include a link to her channel in the video description below. All right, so in case you didn't guess it, the theme of this video hop is rainbows. So I've got a whole bunch of cards here today with rainbows and colors, so be sure to get out your sunglasses. And I'm going to show you 5 different ways to make rainbow cards using products you probably already have in your craft room. All right, so the first up is colored cardstock or pattern paper, whichever you have. I'm using colored cardstock here, and I am just cutting them down into strips. 8-inch, quarter-inch, whatever floats your boat. I'm just cutting all these different colors of cardstocks that I have into strips, and I'm just cutting a whole bunch at one time. So that way I'll have strips galore, and I'll actually make several cards with these strips. And I had a background left over to do more stuff with at a future date. So here are all the strips of colored cardstock that I cut down. And in rainbow order, I am gluing them down to just a white card base. You're not even going to see that card base, so you can use whatever color card base you want. If you've got some cardstock and colors you don't really, I don't know, gravitate towards, this would be a great opportunity to use that because you're really not going to see it. So I just put some adhesive down. Any adhesive you have in your craft room will work, and I glued those down, straight down vertically. So now what I'm doing here is going in, and you saw how many strips I cut, so this is the second card I'm going to get out of all those strips, and I'm just gluing them down diagonally. Again, going in rainbow order. I think I meant to put my pink first, and I didn't put my red. It really doesn't matter. It's so colorful and pretty. Nobody's going to be like, oh my gosh, you put your red before your pink, and vice versa. I'm going to throw this card away. Nobody's going to say that, and if they do, they stink. All right, so then I'm going to cut off all the excess that's hanging off. Use a paper trimmer, use your scissors, use what you have, and just cut off everything that's hanging off of your card base. This is an opportunity to trim down your card panel if you wanted to as well. So you still have all these bits, and some genius, clever person would think of something to do with all those little bits, but I threw mine in the garbage. But hey, if you do shakers and stuff, you might be able to use that. I don't know, whatever. So here I took a pen and I just kind of drew this little like V. I'm trying to create, I don't have a die cut for this, and I don't know, you really don't need one. So I just grabbed a ruler, drew some lines there, and I'm using my paper trimmer to cut that little piece out. You can also use scissors or an X-Acto knife, whatever you have. But for me, I have that wire guide paper trimmer. I adore it. I can see exactly where I'm cutting, and I've had no problem. So I'm able to cut that down how I want it. This almost looks like an envelope, and totally, people, totally, you could put this on the flap of your envelopes. Measure out the size of your flap and cut this to size. And oh my gosh, that would be so cute. But I didn't think of doing that until right now. Well, it was a good idea. All right, so here is the strips that I glued down. I just turned the card upright, so now it's 4 1/4 wide by 5 1/2. You can certainly flip it to the side and make it you know, the opposite direction. You can turn it side and have it 5 1/2 going across the top. But anyway, I am using this stamp set from Altenew. I prepped the surface with an anti-static tool. I am inking that up with some white pigment ink just so I can see where I'm stamping. You can also ink it up with your Versamark ink pad or embossing ink, whatever you have. And I am using my stamp positioner because I've got so much pattern paper going on there, just in case I didn't get a good impression the first time, but I did. So I'm very proud of myself. Sprinkling on some Alabaster white embossing powder from Brutus Monroe, and then I'll go ahead and heat set that. Now be sure to use strong glue. I used the Nuvo Deluxe glue because if you used a not so strong glue, when you applied the heat over the top, the paper kind of would have peeled up, and you just have to resecure it down. So use a really good glue if you're going to do any heat embossing over little strips like this. And here I am going in with a Nuvo Aqua Shimmer pen just to add a little bit of shine to the inside of those flowers. And this card is done. So I got a little card set here from all these strips of colored cardstock. And then I've got a whole bunch more strips that I'll be using again for other cards. You can add little borders or details to your cards. You can create die cuts, alphabets, a whole bunch of stuff you can do with those strips if you save them. All right, so another way you can create rainbows is with stamps. I am using this fun stamp set from Catherine Pooler. It's called Eat, Sleep, and Create. And I'm using the watercolored stripe stamp set, so you can create really fun backgrounds with that. I'm using my new Wendy Vecchi Stay-tion, which is totally new to me, and I dig it. I love it. It's got that magnetic ruler. That whole top surface is magnetic. Those magnet dies are obviously magnetic, but they also have fun foam on the back of them, so they don't snap my fingers. You know what I'm saying? Like magnets are strong, like the MISTI magnets, and I have snapped my fingers so many times by those magnets touching each other. These don't do that because of the foam that she designed. These look like little bottle caps. Anyway, they're cute. So I'm using Distress Oxides, and I am just kind of overlapping, again, using rainbow colors, not necessarily going in rainbow order. Nobody says you have to go in rainbow order if you want to use rainbow colors. Who says that? This is art. This is card making. Do what you want. Now, these are oxide ink, so they do overlap very well with each other without turning to mud. Just want to make sure that the ink is dry before you stamp over another color that don't necessarily complement each other. And then I'll use a little sentiment, a couple words from that same stamp set to finish off this card here. And I'm pulling in all the colors of the rainbow. I went in with the red to stamp Create, and then I'm going to go in with the purple to stamp Happiness. And then, you can also tie in fun card bases if you want to tie in a rainbow color as well. Use fun colored cardstock. I have a lot of colored cardstock, but I don't really use colored cardstock all that often because most of my card bases start off white and then I add the color to it. All right, next up is watercolor markers. I am using Nuvo Aquaflow pens here, and this is some Bristol paper. Any watercolored cardstock you have will work great with these markers. And I am just scribbling on color, as you can see here. I'm putting the color almost abut each other, but leaving a little bit of gap because we're going to add the water to do all the blending. And I think this is so much fun. So again, yeah, scribble it on there. Just lay it down and then spray the mess out of it with some water. And let the water do all the work. If you see that there is colors kind of moving into each other you don't like, dab some of it away. I left it alone. I dried it with the heat tool, and I love how that looks. Isn't that cool and pretty? And it took like 10.1 seconds. Going to finish this card off with a stamp set from the Stamp Market. And just so happened that that border stamp was the perfect size of this cardstock that I cut down. Oops, that was total, like, I love it. That was a happy accident and didn't have to do any trimming. I'm so lazy. So anyway, I just stamped this onto, that's all in the same stamp set, and adhered it to a little polka dotted background. And there's this card. Done and done. Next up is alphabet dies. I used those leftover pieces of colored cardstock that I had when I was making the strips, and I just die cut some words, or not some words, some letters. All right, then I've got a piece of black cardstock here. I'm just adding some score lines for a little fun. There are the little letters I cut from that colored cardstock I used at the beginning of the video, and I'm just going to adhere this word hello down. Again, I'm using that Nuvo Deluxe glue. I love it for so many reasons. It comes in a big bottle, doesn't get clogged, it's super strong, it's white so I can see where I'm putting it down, but it dries completely clear. So all this glue that's like mushing out the sides that looks very unattractive right now, you're never, ever, ever gonna see. So I used another strip. Hello, are you loving all my little strips there? For the green, so I could have all the colors that I needed there. And also I needed my hello to kind of be sitting on top of something. I didn't rest them all against one of the score lines, which was my bad, but that's just worked out just great. I'm taking the Nuvo Aqua Shimmer, or this could be the Nuvo Clear Gloss, but it applies a nice, steady level of glitter. It's shiny. I love it without the mess of the glitter. And then here's this card. I couldn't capture the scored lines very well, but it's there. And then I had some other leftover letters, so I just kind of threw some letters and hearts down and got a card out of that too. Just by looking at my desk and saying, hey, I've still got some letters there. What can I do with that? Hey, what are those hearts? And I just kind of created a card with that. Added some Tonic crystal glaze over the top, and which is what that glossy, which is what that shine is, and that card done. By the way, that says hello, not hell. I did not capture the O in my photo, my bad. Last up is ink swiping. I actually have a video I'm going to link up here in the right-hand corner right now, which shows how to do that ink swiping. I thought I filmed this whole card, and you want to know what I filmed? My knee. My phone had I must have bumped it or something, and it was basically filming my lap the entire time. So I'm linking to that video up here for you. And that's how I made that background. And that's it. Here's a look at all the rainbow cards. Paper, cardstock, pattern paper, stamps, watercolors, Copics, if you've got your Copic markers or your alcohol markers, whatever. You can, Crayola markers, crayons, whatever. You can make rainbows out of anything, right? If you do sequins or glitter, I mean, there's so much fun. I can't wait to see what everybody else created on this hop with rainbows. But here are my simple ways of creating rainbow backgrounds for your cards. So I hope you enjoyed. All of the details are below in the description for the giveaway as well. And I don't even think I mentioned what the giveaway was, but of everybody on the hop, we'll get to choose one winner. We're going to be on YouTube and we're going to be on Instagram. So we each get 2 winners total. You do have to be US based for the physical prizes. Sorry, it's just a kind of shipping thing. But for international viewers, leave a comment on the It's Me JD video or Instagram post because she will be giving away 2 gift certificates for those that are international. The giveaway are mystery bundles of new and gently used craft supplies, dyes, inks, etc., worth over $50 each. So that's a great opportunity to get a nice variety of goodies. And to enter, just read the description below for all the giveaway rules, but you do need to leave a comment here on my blog. All right, so that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.